Hey guys, thanks a lot for joining our weekly training. We've got an amazing trainer today, and if were on with us for a couple minutes before we started talking about all the great things that loving on your VIPs will benefit your business. And so I asked Jenny if she could come on because she really has, from the time she started this business, done an amazing job at retaining VIPs and doing a great job of those things. So without that, if you don't know Jenny Sanzo, um, she's been in this business long time, and she can do a quick introduction of herself.
Forever.
Amazing person. Great to hear from her. Jenny, go.
All right. So I've been in for, it'll be 7 years in March. I will have been, March 19th will be 7 years, which blows my mind because it feels like 5 minutes and an eternity all at the same time. But wouldn't change it for the world. And I have VIPs who've been with me for 7 years. Like I've got girls who still are using Monate that whole time. So that's where when you hear us talk about residual income, that's what we're talking about. Like you get a customer, you take good care of them, they're going to keep every time they, as I knock over my ring light, I talk with my hands, but they're going to keep purchasing because they wash their hair, it goes down the drain, they're going to need more shampoo. So if you are connected and providing exceptional customer service, they're going to keep buying from you. So I want to talk about sort of my process for my VIPs, and that starts even before they're my customer. So I consider like their enrollment, their consultation, that's me laying the groundwork for how I'm going to take care of them. And I always do the same thing. I don't know if you guys, I've done this training for corporate a few times, but I call it QC3. So it's quiz, conversation, cart, conversation. So what I do is I always lead with the hair quiz. I don't always go with what the hair quiz recommends, but I always lead with the hair quiz. One, because it looks professional, and two, because it captures their information. Something I do with the quiz is I have them screenshot the results and drop it in the conversation that we are having. So maybe we're talking on Messenger, maybe we're talking on Instagram. I have them screenshot the results right in there so we can just keep the conversation going. I'll ask them more questions about their hair. I want them to be talking a lot. I want to know what products they're using, how they style it, what they're hoping to get, like what they love, what they don't love. I really want to have a good feel for what this person wants to achieve. And I'm using hair as the example because that just tends to be what I lead with. And most of my new VIPs are hair people, probably because I lead with it. But then once I have figured out what I am going to recommend, I talk about a 90-day hair rehab. Now, I think this is a key for me as to why nobody complains about FlexShip. I don't get any pushback about FlexShip because our initial conversation, I'm talking about 3 orders. And I have a formula for what I do. So their first order, bare minimum, they're going to get a shampoo, conditioner, and a styling product. I'm going to work with their budget, but bare minimum, that's what they're getting for sure. Their second order, they are getting the oil, and they get that month too. And as I'm talking to them, I say, once you've used our shampoo and conditioner for a few weeks, you will have gotten a lot of the buildup off of your hair. Now it's time to start doing weekly oil treatments. And I tell them why they're going to love that. And then I say, and then the next month, we're going to get you, like, there's other stuff that they want. Maybe it's a mask, maybe it's Rejuva beads, maybe it's dry texture spray and dry shampoo. We'll do those add-ons in the third order. So now at this point, they know what they're doing for the next 3 months. And once they've gotten that third order, it is up to them if they want to keep staying on FlexShip, they stay on FlexShip. If they love those free gifts, they stay on. If they don't want to deal with it and order from sales, they can shut it off. It has become a non-issue for me since I started doing my consultations this way, because they're already excited for those 3 orders. So what I do is I will send them a cart, and obviously when they get their cart, that first order's in there, and that first flex ship with the oil is already set up for them. And then I let them know that I will help them do their third one when they're ready for that. So they know that they're getting me as their little shampoo concierge who's going to help them through this whole thing. Their first two are ready to go, and that I'm going to be holding their hand every step of the way. So then they get their email, they sign up. Okay. Once they become my VIP, I onboard them just like you would a new market partner. There is actually a phenomenal, I just found this. This is a new sheet that's in back office. It's in the resource library. It's called VIP Customer Onboarding Checklist. It is almost exactly what I do. And I was like, I have to post this in my team page, and I put it in my team Google Drive, but this is right in your resource library for everybody. And it's fantastic. So once they become my VIP, I want to make sure we're connected all the places, because I want them following me on Instagram, because I'm always on my stories. I'm using the product. So I want to connect with them too, so I can engage and get to know them better as well. So I make sure that we're connected on Instagram and on Facebook. I use a texting service. I make sure that they have that number. That's the number that I give out. And then I add them to my VIP group. I have a Facebook group for my VIP customers. So that's what I do immediately. Like as soon as I get that email saying, congratulations, you have a new VIP, I do all of that. And then I make a cute little post for my Instagram story, and I blur out their ID number. Like I screenshot the email, I blur out their ID number, and I tag them in it, and I say thank you. And I'm like, I can't wait for you to try, like whatever it is that they're getting. And if it was during a sale, like, so glad you were able to snag this deal on blah, blah, blah. And I tag them in it. And a lot of times they'll reshare that. So then that's the first exposure for their network too, seeing that they're using these products. So that's what I do immediately. I have two different emails that I send. I do not ask them if it's okay before I do that, because they don't have to reshare it. There's nothing tying it to them. I blur out their name and their ID number, so it'll just say like Jessica. So it's not like on their page. I'm doing it in a story, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't just like post it on their wall though, without their permission. So it doesn't show up on their stuff unless they choose to put it on there. Good question. So I send 2 emails. So the next day I will send an email that goes over like how to edit the flagship, reminding them what all the perks are, where they go to log in, all those things, like the how-tos, like here's how you're going to manage your account. Obviously, if you have any questions, you're going to reach out to me. I'm here to help you. I always say, this is my job. I love what I do. Do not ever think you are bothering me. Don't ever think your question is stupid. Ask me anything. I am here to help. And I always respond to texts and messages within 24 hours. And I set that expectation, like you are going to hear from me. And I coach my team, and I say this over and over again, that there are no shampoo emergencies. So you don't need to give people an immediate response. And this was a tough thing for me to learn in my business. And I would get, because I'm like a type A, I'm an Enneagram 3. So I wanted, like, if somebody asked me a question or if they needed me to do something, like I felt like I had to immediately do it. So then I would stop what I was doing and then worry about that. And I was a scattered mess, right? You can respond to messages when you allot time to respond to messages. You do not need to be at everybody's beck and call 24/7. You do have to be responsive, but within a reasonable amount of time. So I set the expectation of 24 hours. So they'll get that email from me kind of explaining how everything works. And then they'll get another one going over how to use everything. So that is specific to that person. I used to do all of this in email. I'm finding that I'm using text and messaging more. I would just go by that person's preferred method of contact. When I first started my business, I had my 2 email system and that's what I did. Now a lot more of it is happening over text, but the first thing I do is I just go over, here's how you edit your flagship, here's how you log in, here's all the perks of the VIP program. The second contact would be like, here's your products that you're getting, get excited. This is how you're going to use everything. Text me when you get it. That's a big one. I want to know when their box arrives, because then I'm going to tell them how to use everything again. Because you guys know how many people refuse to wash twice. And then they want to know why it's not working. It's because you're not washing twice. So I mean, I say that in that message, like, you're going to shampoo twice. Da, da, da. Then they're going to text me when they get it. And I'll be like, remember, shampoo twice. 2 days later. So now they've got their box. And here's where I do my 2-2-2. So they get their box. 2 days after they get their box, I'm going to check in and see how their first wash was. How'd you like it? Did you get a lather? That is such an important question, you guys. Did you get a lather? Because if they're not getting a lather, they're not going to get results and their hair is not getting clean. Sometimes in the beginning, they're going to have to triple wash, or they're really going to have to let that first wash sit on their head and their scalp for a variety of reasons. They could have a lot of buildup on their hair from products they're using. They could have really hard water. But make sure that they're getting a lather, because if they're not, that transition process is going to take forever. And then you're going to have somebody who's like, I'm all greasy, it's heavy. Bleh. So make sure you know right away so you can troubleshoot that. Okay, that's just really important with our hair care. So I check in after 2 days, make sure they're getting a lather, that everything is how they thought it was going to be. I check in again in 2 weeks to see how things are going, let them know their oil's coming. And again, I'm going to do, like, I am very connected, I guess is the right word. Like, I talk to my VIPs all the time. Like, it's just something that I do. They're in my Facebook group. I have my texting service. We're on like Instagram. Like, I feel like I'm talking to my VIPs constantly. And I think that's why my PV is consistently what it is, because they're ordering, they know what's going on, and I get all that repeat purchase. So I do 2 days, 2 weeks, and then 2 months, because that 2-month mark is when I'm now going to be setting up, like, okay, see if we need to tweak anything. Because sometimes that conversation that you had 2 months ago when you mapped out their 90 days, maybe you're realizing that they need like a different shampoo for their first wash or something, or maybe like they're going to need a richer conditioner than you originally thought. That's when you can go ahead and tweak things and get them that third order and see what they need. But really the key is that staying connected and providing exceptional customer service. Like, I don't let my VIPs call customer service. If God forbid there is an issue, I am handling it. And they know that. They know that if like they forget to push their flagship or something, that I will take care of it. That I'll, like, they know that I'm their point of contact, and that they're not going to have to deal with any headaches, that whatever happens, I will make it right. And there've been times that, like, I've switched stuff out for people. Like, here's a perfect example. One of my girls was like, so I wanted volume and lift spray and I ordered thermal protect. She's like, that's very different. I was like, oh, that is very different. That's not going to give you the same results that you wanted. And she's like, but I want everything else I bought. Can I just return this one thing? And I was like, Nicole, I'm sending you a volume and lift spray. Keep the thermal protect. I think you're really going to like it for the days that you use hot tools. She's been my VIP for 7 years. Okay. I chose, because I had one on hand, I sent her a volume and lift spray free of charge from me, because that's just an example of something that I would do. Like, I'm not going to make her deal with shipping it back and all of that. So don't be afraid to do stuff like that. That's why anytime we have like a really good flash sale, I'll grab things just so I have stuff. The other reason I want to have stuff is because I do giveaways for my VIPs and my VIP group. And I love doing it. They're never like purchase necessary or anything. Like, I just do fun things. A lot of times it's like an engagement post. but I just want them to feel special. So I'll do giveaways. I'll send handwritten notes, like thank you notes. I do birthday cards. I try to add value like above and beyond for them. So if I see like a really cute hair tutorial, I'm popping that in the group. Like I don't want them to think that anytime I'm posting, it's because I'm trying to sell them something. Like I want them to feel like they're learning something and they have access to great products and that they're being well taken care of. So I'm not afraid to pop like samples in the mail, or anytime we do our Black Friday and our holiday sets, I always buy everything because I'll break it up. Like I still have a stash back here in my little Mod 8 cube, and I'll break that stuff up and I'll just send like a rhinestone barrette and a note that's like, thank you for being my customer. You know, I hope this brightens your day. Like I did a few for Galentine's because the one holiday set had really cute barrettes that had it was bobby pins with little rhinestone hearts. And there were pink ones. I was like, this is perfect. I didn't even realize I had this in here. And I sent a couple notes and I sent them to some of my best customers. So you don't have to break the bank and like give away the store, but sometimes it's nice to just do little things, virtual Starbucks cards, just different ways you can love on your customers. But I think it's just providing that like exceptional customer service. And one thing I'm going to start doing that I haven't done because I felt like it was overwhelming, so I would get overwhelmed and then I wouldn't do it, is I started in January because I was like, Jen, you need to start now and then it won't be overwhelming if you do this like 1 month at a time or 1 week at a time. And I have created a spreadsheet because Google Drives and spreadsheets are my love language, where I am going to be keeping track of everything my customers are ordering. Maybe you guys are better than me and already do this, but I haven't been doing this. So I will actually know what I can recommend because I have it right there and I can see everything like in front of me instead of my system of like notebooks. So it is now in a spreadsheet and I will be able to see people's ordering habits, what they are buying, how long it typically lasts them, and be able to make even better recommendations because I've been flying by the seat of my pants. I mean, like, so what was that we got last time? Or let me find that in my notebook. So just another tip. If you haven't started doing that, it's much easier to do it when you have a smaller customer base than to try to do it from the ground up. So that's why I was like, January 1st, new me, 2022, new me, I'm going to be tracking these things. So use this and really just take good care of your people and be upfront from the beginning. Explain how everything works and let them know that you're going to be holding their hand the entire time. Okay, do your VIPs? No, I don't have access to anybody's account. I don't want access to anybody's account. If I need to, like, I can call customer service if like, I don't know, they can't log in or something, you can call, they'll send them a password reset. But I really like, especially for security reasons, like I want them to have access to their accounts. How do you keep track? Okay, so I will now be keeping track of all of this because before I had 12 notebooks with chicken scratch was my previous system. Systems aren't my gift. Relationships are my gift. So it was a lot of like, yeah, so what did we do last time? Refresh my memory. What shampoo were you using? Because I have no idea. So we could always improve. So see, like, there's always room to like, just take what you're doing up a notch and just keep getting better and improving on what you were doing and streamlining things. Like, I feel like 7 years in, I am still like fine tuning. So don't think you have to have it perfect from the beginning. Just treat them like VIPs. They're very important people. Anybody else have any other questions? But that's like, there really wasn't a secret, guys. Like,
so when I was asking about keeping track of things things. I was talking about like how you did the 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months.
Oh,
I always feel like I lose out, and I don't, and they never tell me when they're gonna sink in, like when they get their stuff, even though I say, hey, let me know when you get it. They've always never tell me, so then I don't know when they get it, and then it just ends up trickling downhill
yeah.
from there, and can't keep up.
So for sure, like there's people that don't tell me, and I'm like, did you get it? Did you get it? Did you wash yet? Hello? I'm paper. I'm a paper person, so I have different blank calendars that I use for different things. So I have one that has like all my team stuff on it. And then I have one that is like my prospects and samples and VIPs.
So you do all that with paper,
I
but
do all
your
that with
VIP
paper.
stuff, you're going to be doing it on Excel. And how do you
Yeah, for
categorize that?
products.
Yeah, how do you categorize that? Like, because I feel like my husband was, I'm trying to figure out a system for myself as far as
Yeah.
prospects is concerned, like liking and commenting. My husband's like, I can develop something for you, but I ended up printing something out and I'm just doing it with paper and pen. But it is very overwhelming doing it on paper and pen. So I'm like, I don't know what the
So
best way to do
I
that.
have both. So I have my master prospect list is an Excel spreadsheet, but like a lot of my stuff, like for example, like Instagram, where I'm trying to like follow people and 3, 2, 1 them and engage like that I'm doing in notebooks and stuff. And then like once I feel like they're a solid lead, like we got really something going on, I will move them. Then they get to go on the spreadsheet. So like if that makes sense, because you know how when you're prospecting and you're talking to so many people, so many of those people end up being duds, like they never respond to you, or like they don't engage back, or they don't have anything in their story, or you're like, ooh, I think she's crazy, don't so like it happens. I always say that. I'm like, you are checking them out as much as they're checking you out. And if you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to work with this person, listen to that feeling. There's lots of hair out there, everybody. Like you don't have to, if you're not vibing, trust that. So once somebody's solid, then I move them to my spreadsheet with my master prospect list.
Can I make one
And then
recommendation?
the paper calendar, I do like samples too. Like I track samples on there. Orders and samples for the most part is what goes on here. So I know when to follow up. It's like a follow-up calendar. If that makes sense.
I'll throw one thing out there for you as well, guys, if you're paying attention. When you're trying to when you do anything that where you want to follow up with somebody, so their VIP place order, maybe we're talking to them, maybe you can create spreadsheets, you can write down on a piece of paper, you can try to remember. I don't like to do any of that. I like to use Messenger and always type them a chat that says, well, that sounds great. I'll tell you what, you'll probably get it this date, so I'll follow up with you on this date. And that date comes, and part of your activity that day would be search for that date in your messenger. Who pops up that you said you're going to follow up with in your messenger? I don't have to create a system. They already got these tools in my arsenal, and you just need to find a way to use them effectively so you don't have to have paper all over and post-its and craziness.
Another thing you can search is cart, because that's what the last flash sale, I was like, well, I got to redo carts, and my system was not so great. So I searched cart and I was like, yes. And I could see all the people. And then I always type out what's in the cart. So it was great. Like, and I made them new carts with the new sale. So that's another tip. Like if you've ever sent somebody a cart, do it again with the new sale. Don't ask them if they want another cart. Just be like, hey, I know we talked, you missed the last sale, but this just came out and it's got the same products we were talking about for you, and I can get you this. So I went ahead and did it because I don't want you to miss out on this one. Here's the link. It's amazing. They check out sometimes. Maybe they forget or they fell asleep or whatever. Like we make up these reasons why, and it's usually like, oh, I forgot, or started watching my Netflix and then it was midnight and it was too late.
Do you have any recommendations for people that haven't ordered in a really long time, because I don't want to they're people that I talk to, I think a lot of them on a regular basis, but I still do from 4 years ago have I would say half of my VIPs that haven't ordered in so long. What would you do for those people? Would you maybe send them hey, a coupon from yourself, or I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how to get those customers back to me.
So with those people, I've done a few things and I have gotten some back, and I usually use samples. So I will say something like, even if it was a hair care person, we've come out with so many new products since you last ordered. I would love to send you some of our newer things to try. Would you like me to pop some samples in the mail for you? And then get them talking that way. I did it when we launched skincare. I was able to reach out to people who hadn't ordered in a while. I was like, just so you know, you still have an account. You still have your discount. You're a VIP for life. You get all the perks. Want me to send you some skincare samples? We just launched skincare. So that's an idea too, is even just offering a sample and then seeing who responds back. Because maybe there's 30 people you can reach out to and say, hey, listen, I know back in 2018, you purchased hair care. Maybe you didn't have the right stuff, or you decided it wasn't for you, but we have amazing skincare now. I'm obsessed with my results. I would love to send you some to try. Because if they try it, they'll like it.
When you say you send
birthday vouchers.
items, well, no, when you say you send items in a cart, how do you do that so they can log into their account and make the purchase?
I only send a cart for their enrollment order.
Got it. Okay.
So that's something I've asked for, to be able to send a cart to an existing VIP.
Right.
Because I get asked that, it's even when there's a sale, they're like, oh, can you do it for me? And I'm like, no, can you just, I do everything else for you. Can you just let me stop? But it would be cool if we could.
But you could if you had.
But I don't know if it's just
if you've got a VIP account. I was thinking that, and I think we do this often during flash sales, you put together the order that they would want in a cart that you don't send them because they're already a VIP, but you can say, well, here's the discount you'll get. I put together this for you. It's custom view of the cost
right.
in a cart via VIP account that I have access to.
But it would be cool if there was a way to send it and they could log in and purchase it. But I don't think obviously we don't have that. But
I love
maybe
that idea.
One day.
Great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, they almost got rid of carts when they did the new site discussion.
I almost lost my mind. I want everybody to know that I fought.
Yeah. I know, right?
Psychopath.
I'm like,
I was kidding? No, I will die on this hill.
So I will say too, VIP points is another way to get things, but I will say I did. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I did email customer service about this, because I have VIPs that place very large orders and their codes expire on the same exact day. Well, the problem with that is they can only use one on each order. It's not. They're earning all of this and they should be able to use it. So I did send it in. So if it's something that you feel like that should be, everybody should email them as well, because they do take our considerations very seriously. But I have one VIP that she didn't even realize she had them. I didn't realize she had them because I failed to look. I didn't know she was putting in a flex ship order, and she just accidentally did 2 of the same orders and she could have got $10 off. So because she missed out on that, I'm going to be doing something for her from myself because I feel horrible. But just make sure you reach out to those people, look at your VIP points list, because they're starting to.
So if somebody spends $300, then they have 3 certificates, but then they have to use them separately. You know what? I think that's.
Yeah. And they can't use them on a flash sale. It's
Mhm.
only on a flagship or a regular. It has to be $84 or more. But when they've already spent $300 at one time, and they're all three of them are going to expire all the same one. So like this girl's, both of hers expire March 1st.
Yeah.
She's not, she just accidentally forgot to use it on this last one. She didn't know about it, and I didn't realize about it. So that's another thing, is to send those
Yeah, make sure
reminders
they
to
know
those
they have the
VIPs.
coupons. You're
Mhm.
right. But
They do,
that is,
I guess, but I don't know what they get, like, because I'm not a VIP, so I don't know what emails they get. Do they get the codes in there? I have no
I
idea.
think it's in their,
It's in their login.
yeah, when
It-
on
the
their
login,
dashboard.
but how much are they reminded about those?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I don't know. I don't know if they're given a code the second that they achieve that $300 or $200 or whatever.
It's a
the case is.
fantastic feedback, Jessica. And the great part about your feedback is that next week is Director Summit. And it's exactly the type of thing that we can discuss with the senior leaders, and they listen to the directors' feedback and take it pretty serious. So I think the biggest takeaway of that conversation is they really need to be able to stagger those gift certificate expirations, because it's really impossible.
that
Yeah, when
to
they earn a budget once.
Right, or they can use them at once. It shouldn't
Well, they
matter
made
when
a
they use them.
conscious choice not to use them as once, because you're not gonna love your
Because then,
TV and your bonuses and all kinds of stuff, guys. It's a business somewhere in the mix, right?
yeah.
But maybe if they did like a maximum amount, maybe like not just one, but maybe two, because a lot of people do spend more money, like $200 at a time. I
If they
mean,
configure the expiration,
maybe
I think that
like two.
that's gonna be most of the battle, I think.
Yeah, for
hoping.
those larger orders, because it's not, I mean, there's not that many VIPs that spend in those huge chunks, but
Yeah.
but for them, yeah, that would be hard to use them all.
Mhm.
Good feedback. And it's a new program. It'll just keep getting better.
Oh yeah, that's what I told him in the email. I said, I
Yeah.
know it's a new program, but this is just my thoughts and my feedback from what I've already seen. So
Yeah.
and
I know. Yeah, and I know for VIP Plus that their little gifts are automatically in their carts.
Oh, so once they place their next order, it's in there?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that it automatically got sent to them.
Yeah, it was like in there because some of my customers were screenshot. They're like, "What is this?" It was a like mini Rejuvenique and something else.
Oh, wow.
And I
'cause
was
my
like, "That's
grandma
your
got one,
VIP Plus." You're like VIP. They're like,
but
"This
my
is
grandma got that.
awesome."
She hasn't ordered yet, so maybe it'll be on her next order then.
Yeah, it was like in there waiting for that.
Huh.
Like, I don't know what this is, but it's free. I'm like, okay. So good stuff. Anybody else have any other questions? Hope that was helpful.
That was an awesome discussion. I
So
want to
just
thank
going
you.
back really,
Go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was just gonna ask a quick question. Going back to just the consultation, I want to make sure I have the QC3
Yep.
written out correctly. That's question or quiz, conversation, and then the 3 months.
So I do,
Layout.
yeah. I do quiz, conversation, cart, conversation.
Got it. Okay.
So they'll take their quiz, and then that conversation is me asking them more questions, finding out what I'm going to do. Then I send them the cart, and then I'm the audio queen. So I am telling them all the things. And then I sandwich in another audio after I send the cart, just telling them why they're going to love everything. And then say like, just let me know when you check out.
Okay.
Here, if you have problems checking out. And I
Perfect.
found that keeping it all in that one conversation, just like my ratio of having them like being able to like close them all in that one conversation is so much better because it's all in one place. Like they're taking the quiz, we're chatting it out. Like there's not, it's just boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
That's awesome. So I just wanted to, one of the takeaways that I got from you, I just love the 90-day hair rehab. I love that statement. I'm going to be stealing that statement for sure. I don't know if you
Steal
coined
it.
it or whatever, but it's a great way
So good.
describe the flagships, and it's like, oh my gosh, I love it to death. So that was definitely worth having you on just to hear those 4 words. And then I did have a question I wanted to clarify, because I think I know your answer. But when you say you'll get back to somebody in 24 hours, what is your response time with a prospect? Is it still 24 hours? Or is it more, you try to be as immediate?
Well, I tend to jump on that a little quick. No, I do jump on that a little quicker. I do. But I also do still feel like I have healthy boundaries. I've gotten better. But yeah, no, if I get a message that says, how do I sign up? That's when I don't care what I'm doing. Like dinner can burn, the kids can be running down the street with, and I'm,
Yeah, that
gets an immediate.
I just wanted to put that out there because I wanted everybody to realize that is for existing customer, there's no hair emergency, but I want it now.
Yes.
That's a hair emergency. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
When they want to sign up,
can I have a cart?
Might have a 5 or 10 minute window before they just lose interest.
Yes, no. Can you send me a cart? Yes, right. I will right this second. Or can I buy the $5.99 pack? Yes. How may I help you right this second?
I agree, because this past week I did a cart for somebody. It was like 11 o'clock at night. My husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I gotta help this girl. She's placing an order without a flash sale. Like, sorry, I gotta finish this.
That's awesome. And I saw you close that. So anyways, thanks so much, Jenny. I love having you on here. And I can't wait till
thanks for
I get to
having
see you
me
again soon. Yeah.
Yeah, right. See you on Monday.
I know. Right? Yep.
Miami?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining. And
thank you.
We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
All right. Bye.